Anyway, I've got enough bandwidth
Okay.
to support what you're doing in terms of live streaming, so it's not
Okay.
bandwidth.
Excellent. So we are live right now. Okay, let me turn that off. We're live right now, and I'm going to just say hello to all of our viewers as they have been waiting for us. Happy Sunday morning. Okay. So I am hearing a little bit of an echo. I'm sorry that I had to mute one of our guests here, but you all saw who it was. I was going to surprise you all. But I will unmute myself as soon as I'm done with my intro, because I have to tell everybody that, hi everyone, welcome to the Goldfish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Sunday, August 2nd, 2020. Sorry, seeing so many twos there. This is Goldfish Report number 540. And I'm titling this one Crossroads of the Undeclared American Revolution, because essentially that's where we're at right now. And the two guests that I have joining me today are such a treat to have these two souls joining me today, and special people. You're never going to believe who it is. It's taken 540 reports to get them on. So we're going to start, since I'm big on chivalry and I'm not big on the Trojan horse of identity politics. We're going to go ladies first. So let me first introduce a lovely lady who has been on the internet, been on Facebook, who has been in alternative healing and is part of this great awakening. Her name is Gail of Gaia. Gail, thanks for joining us on the Goldfish Report. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here, and I love your work, Louisa.
Thank you so much. We're, very happy to have you join us. And of course, now I've gotten a lot of heat from viewers. Let me unmute my other guest here. I have to ask. What is going on? Sorry. I have to ask you to unmute. For some reason, the controls in Zoom are crazy today. What's going on? Maybe you can unmute yourself, because did you get a message to unmute? Oh, this is weird. I can't unmute him now.
Oh, wow. He just unmuted him.
Okay, good.
There he did.
Okay, so anything can happen on a live stream. So our next guest, everybody knows from Cosmic Voice, his blog on Facebook, Cosmic Voice. Everybody has known of our next guest, Drake Bailey. I've taken a lot of heat from viewers for not having you on in certain reports, and they said, get Drake on. So, Drake Bailey, welcome to the Goldfish Report. Finally.
How do? Maybe this will take the heat off.
Maybe a little bit. I'm so glad to have you both join me, because I have done a whole series of reports called Uniting the Light. And what I've done and focused on that was bringing different people together from this truther awakening community, whatever you want to call it, and to really inform the public with things that are going on behind the scenes and things that are going on that we need to know about and be part of. And this is, in fact, an undeclared revolution. And I have been highlighting different clips from the Judy Mikovits, Dr. Judy Mikovits, and other people who have been talking about this pandemic, or scamdemic, actually, and the fact that people who are coming out and talking, like doctors, in fact, who are stating that there's a cure for coronavirus. It's hydroxychloroquine. And of course, one of these individuals was just fired from their job for speaking out on Capitol Hill this week. But Gail, you mentioned to me, and ladies first, Gail, you mentioned to me that you worked as a registered nutritionist, and you couldn't continue to subscribe to what they were trying to push, or what they were trying to recommend, because you were against certain things. You want to tell us a little bit about what you've done and where your position is. And I love that you have a background in alternative health, and why you wanted to be part of this awakening.
Well, I saw what was going on in hospitals as a registered dietitian at the time. I do have a master's in nutrition, but then I went on and I went to Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine for nearly 3 years, but ran out of money and had problems that way. But I saw what um, what I saw as, well, I hate to say it this way, but basically patients being killed with chemo. And I couldn't handle it. I had no power over it because the physicians have all the power in those situations. And so I ended up writing a rather scathing letter to the American Dietetic Association, which has since changed their name. But I could not be an advocate of substances such as aspartame or bovine growth hormone, or recommend eating at McDonald's, and so on and so forth. So I did not continue in that realm, and eventually I found the idea of putting up videos and talking to people who were in the alternative health field, and putting it out there. And I'm really a novice at it, but I started, and I'm still going pretty strong with it, and it's growing every day. So I'm delighted to be here. I appreciate your work, and thanks for having me. That's kind of
Well,
my background.
right.
But if I could go on, I was going to
Please.
tell you a little bit about what I did a little research, and I think you'll find it interesting. Yeah, I have quotes from some very famous doctors, including Judy Mikovits, and she says, viruses don't float around in the air, and they don't live on surfaces any longer than an hour. And a virus doesn't spread to over 110 countries from a seafood market. And it's plausible that it was in the flu vaccine between 2013 and 2015. And another quote from her is, wearing a mask will kill more people than the virus. Now, she's written 3 books, huge books, precedent setting. Another great quote by Dr. Robert O. Young, who I have and will be interviewing again tomorrow, is, putting a mask on your face is like putting a mask on the muffler of your car. That wouldn't work well. So that's important. And Dr. Lyons, he's another one. Masks are not meant for healthy people. Dr. Russell Baylock, face masks pose serious risks to healthy people. And I've gotten to the point where I call it convid instead of the other one, because it is a con. And I'd like to ask people, why is the number 30 important to you? The number 30 is important to you because the pores in the N95 mask are 30 times larger than the so-called viral particulate that you're trying to protect yourself from. So it's really affording you no protection whatsoever. It's actually making you more susceptible to problems. It's like having a petri dish duct taped to your face. You're breathing in your carbon dioxide and all your own viral and bacterial material from your mouth, and you're putting it back down your throat. And some young people who have been forced to wear them all day have had lung collapse. And it's not the protection that people think it is. I guess if it makes you feel better, that's one thing, but you're not really protecting yourself. And
Okay.
that's the gist of it on the masks and so on.
Okay, I wanted to just double check. I'm getting some messages in the chat, and I just made an adjustment on my setting. Drake, you might not need to mute because I just changed an adjustment on my setting. Can the viewers in the live chat let me know if you still hear the echo?
It just came back.
Yeah, just happened again. Okay, well, Drake, we're trying to get a little bit of information as to, we're trying to understand, we get something's not right here. We understand that this is part of the globalist depopulation agenda. Apparently, they didn't kill enough people because looks like they're putting out the bubonic plague now, and who knows what's going to come next. What do we make of all this, Drake?
Well, you got to understand the bad ones, okay? And we still got a bunch of them we're dealing with. The problem is that C19 with in the laboratory, and I don't know if somebody flew what the problem was, but then you got to look at it from the other perspective, and the other perspective is very simple. Leak or escapee from a laboratory. Logic. How did it get all over? That it doesn't work that. That'll be a hoax. That's first. Number two, I have been it contains 12 to 18% organic form now, quinine, and you get 4 take like about a cup. You can mix it with fruit juice if you don't like the taste or whatever. Okay, dandelion, a few other things. That is one. Make sure we don't have problems. But now the experiment was a part of Agenda 21, which also comes from the ET, the bad ETs. Or you're going, or it don't make sense. The population reduction is getting ready to happen on a voluntary. Everybody needs to consider this. I don't want you in a big hole. What it means is that you're going to a pristine planet, Chicagoland, by way of an ET taxi, wherever it decides to go. I plan to, especially young people, about what it would take explore things they've not explored, where a lot of the youngsters will be going. So there are alternatives. They're not. ET is not going to allow us to use nuclear war or something.
Mm-hmm.
Population.
All right. Let me just interrupt for just a second, because I have an idea. This happened when I was doing another interview. Drake, can you use your phone and call in on a phone line? You can keep your video on, but can you, because for some reason you're cutting out and we're missing some of what you're saying. If I give you these phone numbers,
hold on a minute. Now you're gonna put them in our chat.
I'll put it in your Skype so that you can. Any one of these numbers here would be good. I'll put it in your. Can you access Skype, or what's easiest for you?
Get in front of me. What do you know?
Okay, I'll put it right in front of you. I don't think you can just click on the link, but.
Well, I got a whole bunch of friggin' numbers here.
Okay, yeah. Any one of them is good. So the first number is the phone number, and then the second one is the code you punch in, and then pound, and then that brings you right into the Zoom room. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Just bear with us. We are trying to fix this for everybody, and I think it'll work out okay. You just have to mute your microphone. I'll do that right now. Or I'll wait for you to connect, actually.
99.
Yeah. The only thing is your phone number might show like very briefly. Then I'll delete.
And then I got to put
the code for the room in. Yeah. Press and then the pound sign. Yeah.
I've had these problems with Drake before.
75 862.
So, folks, just bear with us in the live chat. Okay.
Otherwise, just press pound to continue.
There you go.
Hold on a minute. Let me get back to the meeting room now.
No, yeah, you're fine just where you are, because your sound is actually better on the phone than it is on the computer. We have your video. Your video is still good, so you can keep that. I'm just going to rename. Okay. There we go. Okay. Are you on your phone there?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Awesome.
That
So,
is better.
yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Now, what's this? I got a big telephone with a ring-a-ding-a-dinger in the middle of it.
Right.
A big
Well,
green thing.
but your video
There
is,
it goes.
yeah.
Okay, and then my microphone is mutated. I still got that. I'd like to get rid of that green thingy.
Well, you can't because your voice is on the, let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the gallery view. There we go.
Uh-huh.
How's that,
Well,
everybody?
Guess what? Well, guess what? The green spot with the ring-a-dingy phone is still there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to
Difference.
screen share so you can see what we look like.
Uh-huh.
Nope, that's not the video I want.
Oops.
That's not. Sorry.
Oops.
Gail,
You're making me go cross-eyed doing all this funny stuff. You know?
No, Gail, can't you see all 4 windows there? Tell
Yeah,
me.
I can.
Yeah, I see.
I
all
do.
four
They're all on
windows.
Okay.
top.
I
So
got
we're
me
good.
with a phone,
Yeah.
and I got me on one side and muted, and I'm still hanging up. So it don't matter. Hey.
No, you're good. This is how we have to do it. We have to have your sound coming in from a different source while your video is there. It's okay. We can still see you and hear what you have to say. This is much better connection, though. Otherwise, it was getting difficult to hear. For some reason, we don't really know why. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be complaining to the cable company about this. I pay a lot of money for this.
Yeah, I would.
They best get their stuff in order. You know, boost the signal or whatever it takes. So.
Okay, good. So everybody's telling me.
Okay, was everybody able to hear what I said before?
No, could you repeat it? And this will be the last time you have to repeat because we got the audio worked out.
I'll tell you
had
what
something to do with bad ETs. So
I'm going to tell somebody what they can do with something about it. Anyway, the bad ETs are the ones that come up with Agenda 21 and this C-19 horse hockey. Okay, if somebody wants to remedy it, it's very simple. All they got to do is consume approximately 4 ounces. That's about a cup of tonic water, which contains 12 to 18% organic quinine, and you become pretty much bulletproof. There's some other things to do, like host defense, dandelion, zinc, things of that nature. You take all 4 of those, and when you come up against the coronavirus or any of these other nasties, you'll hear the padding of little feet going in the other direction. They will run from you. Anyway, so the bad ETs have been being systematically eliminated by myself and other ET forces for the preservation of mankind. We're not supposed to be going through all this horse hockey. After they get that under control, there's probably another 30 to 60,000 of them that have got to be eliminated. Now, by eliminated, I mean horizontalized, vaporized, or how you want to look at it. Then you have then you'll have a lot of good guys, and these are ETs that will come out of the woodwork and go, "Hi," they'd be waving at you and all that. Let me do something on my end here. Oh, okay.
One of the things that I'd like to mention, besides the quinine water is, I don't know if people realize it, but in other countries across the sea, hydroxychloroquine is over the counter.
Yeah.
And it was over the counter in France, and they took it off in January 2020. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but tonic water is still out there, and it's all over the place, and anybody that's got $1.50 or something can get a jug of it. That's the thing.
That's just wrong that it's being restricted from physicians in the area to be able to prescribe a drug that's been around for over 65 years.
You heard about Ohio, I would imagine, if you've watched the news at all. They
I try not to.
first banned it, and the ban didn't last more than about 3 days or so, and the governor said, "No, you don't, put it back on," and they put it back on.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good governor. A lot of them aren't. 5 of them are under serious investigation, I was.
Well, as we were talking, so let me ask you something, Drake. You just opened up You just
A
opened
can
up
of worms.
a can
Can
of
of
worms.
worms.
So
Good
let's
at
talk
that.
about this ET topic here. I'm going to, let me see if I've got it up. I saw this on Twitter the other day. Someone sent me, no.
No.
It'll take a minute. I haven't received it yet in my email. I'm waiting for it to come in my email. It's very slow. Oh, here it is.
I'm having fun. Come on now.
Okay, this was a picture taken. This is why the caption on Twitter was why we need to have a Space Force. So let me screen share this picture here, and you tell me what you know about this.
Okay, what do I know about it?
Who are they?
How much you want to get? Let's see here. ET has limited me in some ways. So has the DOD and certain other high-level people. But I have an interesting deal here where when I decide to release classified information, doesn't matter what level it is, it becomes declassified. I have that deal with DOD and the intel agencies. So consequently, those are friendlies.
Those are friendly?
Huh?
I'm sorry. It's
Those
just
are
you
friendlies.
can't get past the way they look. They don't look. They could be ugly as butt ugly, but they could be friendly. We have to get past that. I get it.
Well, let me put it this way. I was looking at the ET not terrible long ago, and that thing would make you lose your lunch just on its looks alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it had some bad breath I'd never run across in my whole life. And I've been around chemical factories that didn't smell that bad. Anyway, I looked it in the eye and I said, I got a question to ask you, and it's kind of semi-personal. And it looked back at me and said, what? I said, well, I just need to know, and there's a lot of people want to know, do I look as ugly to you as you look to me? And that was one of the very first times I ever heard E.T. bust up laughing. He said, absolutely. So these actually, those in that particular picture are decent. Okay, if you get into some of the races or formats, these ETs look just like we do. You cannot. There we go. You can't tell the difference, except that in some cases, like the guy that was walking by the airplane not too long ago.
A big tall guy.
Well, the guy, yeah. Okay, that's a tall white. The tall whites are on our side.
All right, wait.
Make no mistake about that.
Are you referring to Air Force One?
Yeah, I'm referring to the big, tall ET. He looked like he was like 12 foot tall.
Yes.
That's not unusual. Okay.
Well, we're talking about the one outside of Air Force One.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. These guys are, let's see, probably Andromedan. That's what they look like to me generally. Until you ask them, you can't tell. The reason being is there are 2,500 million races. So you don't know who bred with who and made what and all that. It's easier or more expedient to simply ask them, what are you?
What are you? Right.
Yeah. And we are Sol 4. That's from the sun out, 4. Number 4. You don't count from out to in, you count from in to out. But anyway, the deal is very simple. We have a lot of really good ETs just chomping at the bit, wanting to come down and help us with all of the fun and games we have started on our own. And we also have a whole load of, everybody's heard of the reference to the silent majority. And well, the silent majority is beginning to speak up, and that's going to really freak people out because there are somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 20 times as many in the silent majority as there is in the Marxist Fun and Games group.
Oh, yeah. Okay?
So when somebody said they were going to defund the police, and the silent majority said, oh, no, you ain't. Now, I have expressed on my show several different types of removal. One is you blow their brains all over the wall. Another one is if you don't want to get funky about it and nasty, you simply go after them. Now, there's 2 levels of this. Removal from office in respect to the oath of office, there's 2 levels. One simply gets them out of the office. That's all it does. It's temporary. The second one, which is nasty, depends on what type of violation of the oath of office they did. If it is a treasonous act, not only are they immediately removed from their office, but all benefits, perks, powers, everything stops. They might as well go down to Mickey D's and get a job. To go along with that, you can attach to the affidavit for the violation of oath of office, you can attach to that an arrest warrant. And if it's local, fine. If it's federal, that's fine. But, and this is the biggie, law enforcement has to honor it, period. They can't put them in and then turn them loose. They do that, the sheriff goes in a jail cell or whomever turns them loose. Mm-hmm. So, and regular people can do this. It's not difficult.
So this is different than, there's different ways to remove a public official from office that the people can do. Of course, one is you don't vote them back in, but that's, not even a reliable source. But once they're in and you can't get them out and you realize that they're doing something shady or they're destroying, the country, which many of them are, we have what you just said was violations of oath of office, but also then there's the recall process, which could be based on a violation of oath of office too. What do you suggest about that?
I have to ask you something that I think is important, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Let me finish, please.
All right.
I just want to know, does the oath of office that they have taken, did that oath apply to the original republic, or did that apply to the corporate, and does it make a difference?
Neither one. It applies to the individual. That's the caveat about the oath of office. People don't understand that differential. And it is a differential. Now, here's the deal. Like I said, depending, you got one that's like a traffic ticket. They can pay a little fine and everything's reinstated, and they promise not to do that again. Mm-hmm. On treasonous charges, they don't have a choice but abdication of their office. They got to quit everything. They lose their paycheck, any special perks, powers, etc. In other words, they get their butt up out of the chair and take a walk, quite literally, if they're allowed to. Some of these have arrest warrants or arrest provisions. Generally, the oath of office is limited to those two generalities. Now, here's the deal. If a mayor says such and such, bows his knee and prays forgiveness for being white or whatever the deal may be, but does not violate constitutional provisions for our safety and things of that nature, then it's a traffic fine kind of deal. They can be removed for a specific period of time, etc. On the treasonous ones, you give up everything immediately upon service. Now, by that I mean there's a form for this, and you back that up with a certified copy of the affidavit that you put through the clerk of the court and or county clerk, however, and at the point of service, it's effective. That means they got to get up out of the chair right then. If not, you can ask the bailiff to remove the dingleberry if it's a judge or whatever. Goes from there.
Well, what you're saying is that we, the people, are ultimately the checks and balances. And why I titled this report today, Crossroads of the Undeclared American Revolution, is that it's another American Revolution. I mean, I don't know if people really realize what's at stake this time around. And
I don't think they do.
Right.
Agreed.
While the left are at war, busy at war, the right are comfortably numb, in denial.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I told the militias to get their act together and start addressing the problem. So we'll see how that goes. If that doesn't work, then we're going to need to have people at the varying locations where the riots are taking place or whatever, snatching these turkeys up, and we go from there.
Gail, do you want to jump in?
Well, basically, I agree. I just find it hard to believe to see people doing that for some reason, unless it's possibly the militia. I mean, I would like to. Believe me, people are finally starting to get, what's next? Now we're going to wear goggles and a mask, and I'm afraid to go to the store because I might see somebody with that on. And I'm going, oh my God, I don't believe this. But anyway, in this test, that's another thing that needs to be looked into and find out follow the money trail, because each test costs about $50, and there's 500,000 being tested a day in the United States alone. So who's getting all that money? Because it's paid for by Medicare.
Doesn't matter. The tests are invalid anyway.
Exactly. So why are they doing them? I mean,
Well,
I've got
that's
plenty
because
of.
it looks good.
Yeah.
How'd
And why are you
how'd
testing
that
healthy
look good?
people? Why are you testing healthy people in the beginning? It doesn't. None of it
Well,
makes any sense.
did you see that? I found a thing on Facebook I thought was really, really neat. This nurse turned in a couple of swabs that had never been used. And they came back positive for coronavirus. Not possible, okay? So she went and took those results to some other friends of hers who are also nurses. Guess what? Each one of them turned in 2 or 3 unused swabs, and they all came back positive. This is similar to the fun and games or whatever kind of fraud you want to put on it. Of the guy that hit a wall with his motorcycle and it killed him, and they said coronavirus got him.
Yeah, and they're doing that with all kinds of.
No, I mean, there's a meme out there of a guy rolled over by a steamroller, and they said died of coronavirus. I mean, it's it's that ridiculous. The guy's actually laying squat, like flat as a fly on the ground, and died of coronavirus.
Yeah. So these kinds of things are what I look at when I see that sort of horse hockey going on. I'm thinking, crapola, man, that thing has got to be a hoax, and it is.
That's why I call it convid now. Convid.
Well, they're saying
it's a con.
I like that, Gail. Convid. That's good. Okay, sorry, Drake.
Well, one of them, one of the guys on Facebook named it the election infection. So I think that's one of the best. This guy's kind of a nut like I am anyway. But so here's the deal.
Oh man, get the memes ready. Okay.
Well, C-19 has been around since before Egypt existed.
Oh God.
Everybody has either had it or going to get it. It's not something that
It's a common cold virus. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It was at one point a push for power.
The Latin name for virus is poison.
Is that right? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. We didn't know that.
The Latin word for for virus is poison. And what's really interesting about this, if you take it a step further and you look at exosomes versus convid, it fits the exact same diameter. It affects the diameter of the outside, the receptor site, which is ACE2, and also it's found in the bronchial I have a hard time saying that, lung fluid. So how do you explain that? Is it really, have they ever isolated a real, honest to goodness virus, so to speak? Are we dealing with exosomes, which every single person, now wait a minute, no they haven't. Every single person has exosomes, okay? And exosomes have RNA in them. And so that makes it possible for just about everybody to test positive. And I'm talking about the new biology by Dr. Young, Drake. And so that's, kind of the response a lot of people will have. But if you actually listen to him and what he has to say, it's the terrain more than anything that will make you...
Because of early medicine. There you go.
Yeah, well, this all started with the germ theory, which is being challenged by a lot of very good doctors right now, and Dr. Young is one of them, because for every bug, they have a drug, and it was a way of
We're gonna have to do some rhyming on this. We got to get the music going. Let's do some rhyming. We're
How about the Twilight Zone too?
we're in the groove here.
No, no,
And poor
no,
Drake is
no.
outnumbered too. He's got 2 women here. Okay, let's give Drake a microphone.
It's your call now, Drake. I
Okay,
wanted to
well,
finish
hey,
what I had to say.
here's the thing. Gail is absolutely correct on everything she stated. Now, you have to understand, what I stated before she started, it's ancient. This came about the same time man appeared, okay? Consequently, everybody's either had it or going to get it. Coronavirus is no worse than a mild cold. Okay, the family that it authors is things like the flu, and let's take it the extra step further. We can have a lot of fun with this. Malaria and things of that nature. Now, it's primarily used as an anti-malaria drug. The thing is that it kills the whole friggin' family of them, to include C19 and anything else when it's come up. I recommend tonic water because it's organic and it's real readily
Readily available.
Yeah, and it ain't expensive.
Now, what was your recommendation again? 1 cup a day or 1 cup a week or
No,
something?
no. 4 ounces. That's about a cup, twice a week.
It's a half a cup.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it don't taste good, at least to me. Yeah, mix some kind of juice with it. Put about a cup in the bottom of a big tumbler, and then fill it up with grape juice or whatever it is you like.
Little gin.
But if you do that, everybody becomes pretty much immune to it on a real basic level. All right,
Yeah.
That means our kids that are going back, they're going to want to put them back in school. Real simple. Make sure they get dosed with this twice a week. That's 2 times a week, and you can pick a day, try to even it out somehow. I don't know how to divide 7 by 2, but anyway.
Well, there was a Dr. Gold who was advocating, and I just heard it this morning, for having it over the counter, hydroxychloroquine, because it is in other countries. And what's interesting about that drug is it raises the pH. Raising the pH could actually help decalcify the pineal gland, which actually might help wake people up. They don't want that.
No wonder they're out against it. Well, Tony the Rat Fauci, is doubled. He's back talking now because in his he's known since 2015 that hydroxychloroquine is a treatment for COVID, and and of course
even advocated it.
Yeah, and advocated it, and then now he comes out, and not only that, but he says masks don't help anybody, because all my viewers know about the schmutz that gets, you get all the schmutz in the mask and everything, and then you inhale that, and it makes you sick. And I can tell you that just having a mask on for 5 minutes, I'm already starting to feel the schmutz build up in my lungs. So, I think that these doctors that came out were brave. We need more people doing this. But I think the whole gist here, what we're all talking about is we're all waking up. We're all getting the idea. Gail, from a health perspective, you're talking about listen to these doctors. Listen to, and Drake is saying there's even things in your cupboard that are going to help protect you from this. So, this is good advice. This is good sound judgment. But let's get back to the ET issue, because why are the bad ones still here, and why are they still interfering with us?
Well, consider a number of 100 million that look just like it we do, and think about being able to catch them. Ever heard cats or teenagers, or you want to have some fun? Go for it. They're being eliminated on a contact basis. There is a small machine. It's about the size of this phone, that detects them for the people who can't detect them. I automatically detect them. And we turned out, 28,000 of them at Dulce base in
It's a bad place.
New Mexico.
Right.
28,000 of them. Now, by that, when I say 28,000, I mean, we killed them all. It took a long time to get all the goo off the floor, believe me. But we did it. Now
They were doing horrific things, too.
Yeah. That was one of the big child deals, but it was a different kind of thing than just molestation. They were eating the children. Think about that. They'd like to hear them. See, when you get something traumatic happens to you, you create certain fundamental energies. One of those is known as loosh, and this is one of the things they feed on. So, making somebody scream or whatever is, part of the deal. Now, we have eliminated, they did have a base on the moon. We eliminated that. We have eliminated 5 fleets. Now, by fleets, I'm talking about several thousand ships, all occupied, coming to Earth to take over. We eliminated them. Then we went to the planets where they were at and did a number on the planet, too. Then we picked one out that everybody was aware of and asked them if they wanted to be turned into some kind of a smoking cinder like that one, or did they want to stay home? So they got quarantined to their planet. They won't be coming back. There will be no support or special consideration from their home planets. So we got somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1 million. Now, you got to remember how big the population of our planet is. We're in the billions. Okay, we got about 100 million. They look like us and seem to act like us in terms of sociology and all that. So
yeah,
the problem we have now is getting them.
In this picture here, I mean, there must be using some kind of spectrometer in order to detect this on their film, whatever camera they're using. Because look, they're all wearing suit and ties. They look like humans. They look just like us in this room, but the camera isn't buying it. The camera is recording what's actually there. So either they're using a hologram. So what's going on here, Drake? That's
not okay. First of all, it's not a hologram. They're not as such in hiding, so to speak.
Okay.
If you check, you notice the 2 guys on the backside have police type uniforms on.
Yeah.
Think Men in Black. Okay, right. That's first. Secondly, know that this was a very highly controlled meeting. The meeting was between, you look at the guy on the lower left, he looks pretty much human. The distortions come about not from holographics or the fact that they're different, but that our capabilities in science, applied science of photography or whatever, are Stone Age in comparison to what they have. Consequently, the guy on the lower left is in the right place at the right angle for what we have in the way of technology. And I'll say this very clearly. Don't worry about those guys. Those are friendlies. These are the people that have come as ambassadors of, each one may be representing a planet of several billion people. You don't know. But, and like I say, I didn't meet these guys yet that I know of. We'll see how it goes. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to take some time, but what we're going to have in the way of alternative is very simple. The allowable, and this is on choice by the individual alone, okay, the allowable people to leave. This is the population reduction I'm talking about. You're not going to be dumped on a planet and got to run for the caves from the dinosaurs kind of thing. You're going to be put in a position. You're going to be put in a position where you can do well for yourself. Now, as you institute some of the stuff we have here, industries, this, that, and other things, you'll be better able to have comfort in terms of where you're at. So it ain't going to be it's not going to be the horror story everybody'd like you to believe.
Okay, so was that an actual photo of how they look in a private, confidential room, or was okay? All right, so that was a leaked photo then of something that was probably very confidential.
I've sent Gail a whole bunch of photos, and she's welcome to share them with you. Some of them look different than us. If you want to see a photo, back in the day, President Eisenhower, met with an entity, an ET, known as Valiant Thor.
Yep.
And you can take all kind of close looks you want at that boy. He don't look no different than anybody else necessarily.
Right.
Okay? And there are a bunch of races of people, and I'm using that word loosely. They laugh when we call ourselves people, by the way. I'm talking probably 250 million planet systems in our galaxy alone that have Earthling, like, they look like us. And, we can have dealings with even the ugly ones. You have to get over they're ugly and just don't worry about it. That's all it is.
Gail, what do you think? How do you think people are going to, react when they confront, these ugly ones? Even if they're nice, I mean, that's going to be a problem. It's not going to be hard for society to kind of like get past the horribly ugliness of it. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but to us it's like scary. I mean, because you know why? Because they've been portraying aliens as ugly monsters ever since we were kids. That's why.
Yes.
So we've got this programmed in our brain. Just like Gail and I were talking about this before we started, how we're all never mind, it was about men, but it's okay. Let's keep going.
Oh boy, now I see why I got problems. Not only am I outnumbered, but I have been.
Didn't happen to the nicer guy.
Yeah, the whole program.
You look at an ET and go, "Ooh, man, you ugly," and the ET's like to look back at you and say, "You should see what you look like to me."
Yeah,
But there
exactly.
are a lot of them that are not necessarily that ugly. They might be different colors. They might be different, eye features and so on. Not all of them are the kind of ugly that we're referring to, and we would hope maybe that the ones that look more like us were the first ones that came out, and we could tell from their presence that they were there in love. Okay, they're there to help. They're not here to hurt anybody. Now, if they have a fake alien invasion, that could be a whole different game. But I hope that doesn't happen either.
Drake, what can you tell us about that?
We have that under control. When they start that crap,
good.
it's into a pretty much a light show circus kind of routine that everybody will recognize instantly. We're going to make them look like total idiots.
Good. They've been doing a good job of that themselves lately.
Actually, that's true. That's very true. I do have a picture. Actually, I have it on my Facebook page. Maybe I'll just go there and find it. I do have the picture of that technology that they plan on using for this fake alien invasion. Let's see. Here it is. Let's see if it's with the rest of them. This is the holographic machine that supposedly they're going to be using. This was published by
that's cool.
Easily mobile on trucks throughout the Middle East and war zones, anywhere in big cities across the USA. Here you have what I feel is the reason half of this country is so mentally ill, thanks to Hillary Rodham Clinton for pushing the button, and Benison Strategy Group, tested and proven functional and reliable. So this is seeing any flashes of light in this night sky. So this is the laser. This is the beam that controls it. You have other lasers here, and then there's actually some more pictures of this. Let me find them and see if I can get you some more pictures on this.
You want to hear a funny while you're looking?
Yeah.
ET sees something like that and starts laughing because it's like an antique. Think about a Model T trying to compete with what we got today, and you get the picture.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I should. Well, and so it's really funny that you called this the election infection. Boy, that was funny as heck.
I like that. That guy always comes up with some.
Yeah, they were saying that it's going to go away if there is election. There's also some question as to whether or not there will actually be one, but we'll see about that.
Well, Drake, what do you think? Do you think they're going to delay the election, Drake?
I would say probably not, for the simple fact that things can be rectified, and by that, if you have a mail-in ballot, We're liable to have a lot of people that certify such things. You know, them guys
Oh,
with
yeah.
them little
Hanging.
crimpy stamps and whatnot that validate a signature. They're liable to get a whole load of overtime.
A whole new chapter of hanging chads.
But these got to be stamped.
They need to show ID and vote live and in person. That's the only fair way.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I received in a recent election a mail-in ballot that was I actually only received half. I didn't receive the whole ballot. I only received half of it, and I guess it's because I voted for Trump, and they didn't want me, so they knew I was Republican and that I would be voting Republican. So they only sent me half of the. I mean, it was torn. It was ripped in half, and there were two ballots sent to my residence for two people to vote. Even though, whatever, but they were both only half received. Only half of the ballot was received in both cases. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There's definitely an intention to cheat.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, President Trump made a very good point. He says, well, do the masks work? And, I think this was Fauci, and he says, oh, yeah, masks are good and you can social distance, whatever. Good. Then everybody can go and vote in person. And who was it?
He used that. Yeah, he used that.
And then he said, no, you can't vote in person, whatever. So, you can't have it both ways, right?
He caught him in his own trap.
He did, and he's so brilliant. I'll tell you this, 5D chess, he's really a Sun Tzu master. You really have to love and appreciate him, truly.
I do.
I like the guy that showed up to an official meeting at a courthouse wearing underwear on his head with eye holes cut out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Who was that, Biden?
No, well, that's why you never know what that boy's going to do. You know why he hadn't come out of his basement more often? It's real simple. He went down there just like he did when he tried to drive up his driveway and got lost.
Jesus.
There's a plan or an agenda behind that they're actually trying to put him in because he's totally incapable. So they're planning on switching him out or something like that. They got to be.
So here's where this came from. I did find a little document here, and I'd like to get both your feedback on this. This was another released document from this Benison Strategy Group, which was also paid opposition research, or maybe it was not opposition research. Maybe this was their plan for. Well, let's take a look. It says right here. We have analyzed the number of potential salvage options should Trump be elected. I guess this is, and that's my brackets there, okay? And you'll see why as we go along, and have strong recommendation. Optional scenario: Red Dawn. Support is too widespread, while an RD scenario using UN forces and Canadian border infiltration would be effective in shutting down northern voting. It would simply delay the inevitable and result in hardened support for Mr. Trump. Risk issues: loss of property and life. Alt-right force are prepared for battle. Alt-right forces are prepared for battle. Woo! Like to see that. This was, by the way, prepared for the 2016 election. Cobalt rain. So the public has been primed for radiological attack and stockpiles have been positioned, but while the psychological impact of a Co-60 weapon is severe, the threshold of opportunity may have passed for this to stop a vote. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop people from voting. So loss of profit under martial law, and these are the risks, and leaks could compromise. Here we have the BL riot. Oh, what is this? Again, while staged civil unrest could prevent pockets of America from voting, the damage is too widespread. The risk, command, and control is dicey at this point, and substantial numbers of employed minorities have defected to Trump. Then we have this is when Zika, the Zika virus, the Zikapocalypse. Improved strains of Zika V have been delivered, and we have disseminated them to operatives. Are you listening to this, folks? These people, this was even in a Simpsons episode where they said, okay, we need something, to stop Trump or whatever, or to stop the election, and or to stop something, and the guy, pulls out a suitcase and says, well, we have this bioengineered virus, and he injects one guy at the table, and the guy drops dead on the floor. So we have the Zika virus, and here it is. They're talking, this would hurt Hillary Clinton, and Trump voters are willing to risk lethal pathogens to vote. Listen to this. Trump voters are willing to risk lethal pathogens to vote.
I'm so scared.
They know exactly who his base is, right? But wait, if that doesn't work, we have Sharia escalation. States have blocked key immigrant operatives without the required Muslim Islamist population in place. The IE plan will not be sufficiently impactful. So, and here we have Leo is pro-Trump and will not roll over due to Muslim demands of political correctness, right? Mm-hmm. Then we have an unnatural disaster. We have they had all these options. There you go. HARP is in skeleton crew mode. Subterranean thermobaric devices and fracking mines are untested. Surveys suggest this might not stop Trump voters. And then here we have at the bottom, their recommended salvage is called Fire Sign, and this is, for almost 2 decades, the Department of Defense and NASA have coordinated on a black book project under the code name Fire Sign, aims to create a religious awe effect in enemy populations to create an instantaneous psychological soft kill. The operation uses high-powered lasers to project real-seeming images on the sodium layer 100 kilometers above the surface. These images can cover hundreds or even thousands of square miles and can appear completely real, 3-dimensional, and can move. I mean, that's
a whole bunch of horse hockey in that, all of it.
Yeah. Louisa, have you seen the Rockefeller Operation Lockstep, the summary of that?
Yes.
That describes what's happening to a T right now.
Right. I have that here somewhere too. I'm just trying to say, boy, these people really do understand how dedicated Trump supporters truly are. I love the we'll risk biological warfare to go out and vote for Trump. Of course we will. It's amazing.
Yep.
They don't know, but they lost already.
Exactly, they have, because like you said, Gail, they've already done it to themselves. They've shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their symbolism too is another way of bringing them down, and they're using it. They're just putting it out there right in your face now.
They are, and so it's kind of crazy that they were so psychopathic to think like this, Of course, the fake alien invasion was part of this document. It's a series of documents, 8 pages. I'm not going to screen share all of it right now, but this was leaked, and quite interesting to see the extent that they'll go through, the extent they'll go to in order to try to hijack an election. It's amazing.
Well, they're not just trying to get to the election; they're also after the country entirely. And
yep.
I don't think these dummies that Marxist this and social that, and I don't think they understand that they won't have the right to protest, disagree, or object. Mm-hmm. If you do, you get prison time, anywhere from 6 months to 10 years.
Right. They don't seem to realize this, do they?
Yeah, you organize a protest. The organizer gets 50 to 100 years. I mean, all you got to do is look at China and Russia and a few other little places,
and
you get an understanding.
China. Yep.
But all of this stuff that you're looking at right now on that page, as an example, that was the horse hockey ideology that was run through to see what they thought would work. And the problem with it is that none of it is efficient. At the best, 20, 30%. And you got to have 85, 90% in order for psychological warfare, such as what they're proposing, to work. Just that simple.
What are we going to? What's the best thing for us to do for the comfortably numb sleepwalkers who live in denial? What's the best thing that we could be doing? I mean, I don't. There's a lot of mind control. As one of our live stream viewers is talking about mind control, definitely there's a lot of mind control going on out there, and there's
got to be.
Right, Gail?
Well,
I said there's got to be mind control going on. One of the things that I've noticed that I swear it's some kind of mind control, MK Ultra or nanotech or whatever, is sometimes if you just say the word Trump, there are some people that just go off into hate mode like nothing I've ever seen before. You know, what the heck? Come on.
ain't that Trumpitis or something or whatever it was they called it?
Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah.
Oh.
True.
Well, the derangement
Crazy.
comes from what they actually decided to accept in terms of the education somebody gave them. It's real simple. What should we do? Okay, we should counter protest, and you can use a garbage can lid to shield yourself if you wish. But if you got say 2,000 on one side and 10,000 on the other, and they all got garbage can lids and they're all pushing against somebody, we can push them right out of the town if need be. Okay, that's one form of this. The thing is that this was a power grab. Anybody who doesn't understand that that being locked up or a lockdown doesn't understand that you're living in a cave somewhere. So, in terms of a power move, that was addressed. And it was addressed effectively by people who apparently did some legal research. When you abdicate your power or allow stuff that your oath of office stipulates you're not supposed to do, it gets sticky right quick. Mm-hmm. And it was a certain mayor of a certain city was notified that if they didn't want to lose all their power, to lose their office and things of that nature, they had to comply. And the result was that person gave a one finger salute to the government. So the feds thought, well, we could go in and crush them, but it'd be better if they did it internally within the state itself. So they went to the governor. The governor overruled it. All of a sudden, everything got cleaned up. All the I'm using this loosely, and I'm not trying to make somebody mad. All the demonstrators disappeared. They vanished right back into the woodwork where the cockroaches come out of. I thought that was interesting. It has been cleaned up. It's pristine. It's safe. Okay, people can walk down the street and not have to worry about it. So that was the changeover from the Marxist BLM horse hockey control effort back to what is known as sociological control. You have certain social parameters. You act a certain way in public or with other people, or you stay home or go somewhere else. And the sociology of being, right on, suddenly popped right out.
You know, those Antifa people are going to scare the average American very much and make them afraid to go out. That's what I'm thinking. Because those guys are plumb crazy. I mean, they're doing things that are ridiculous. And people don't realize that these Antifa members and BLM members, if anybody's donating, all that money is being funneled to the Democrats.
It don't matter. What you have to understand is that the state police now, in this particular state, went in and cleaned it up. They had only 2 or 3 skirmishes. That means there's just a small group fighting. And those people were not only beaten down badly, but they were also arrested. There's some things you can't do. Attacking the state police is not a good idea under any circumstance. Anyway, they cleaned it up. It's pristine, and they are still patrolling. It's safe. Now, the reason they are still patrolling is because the city police department refuses to police.
You're talking about Portland?
Not to.
Are you talking about Portland or a different city? Or Seattle? Or would you rather not say?
Just pick any of them.
Okay.
This was a demonstration. This was a demonstration of the agreement of the between the power of the Fed and the state.
It was interesting.
The state overruled the municipalities, and they did big time. I just loved it.
In Portland, yeah, that's wonderful. In Portland, they said how many people were arrested? I think it was 20 or so, something like that. I don't remember the exact figure. I had it written down somewhere. But anyway, like 13 of them, 13 of 20 We're teachers.
Right. Exactly.
Is
No,
that crazy or what?
well,
Just fire 'em.
considering the liberal agenda that they're pushing on our kids today, no, it's not hard to believe. I know teachers whose own kids are transitioning genders. It's like, wait a minute. Half the kids in school, no, I'm not kidding. This is really a problem. Half
I know.
half the grade are transitioning to other genders, and it's just like, and now I can see like doing it like on a subconscious level to some kids who I know, parents, and I'm thinking, oh, they have to be doing this to get back at their parents for what they did to them, and it's like, terrible things, but it is what the reality is. Let me just screen share something else that I thought you could appreciate here as well. This is still part of that Benison research group that was hired by the DNC and Hillary Clinton, where here it says Trump voters are virtually unstoppable. Don't you just love that? And here's all the statistics to show this, right? Here, what events could stop you from voting? And they really went through this, right? A storm, only 2% would not go. A powerful storm, only 9% would not go. Zika or other epidemiological agent, only 12% would not go. Threat of violence at polling places, only 11% would not go. Long lines, 90 minutes or plus, only 17% wouldn't go. None, 45%. Nothing, right? So they know, a storm, a powerful storm, Zika, all this other stuff. They know how hard the support people are for Trump. And let me just also show you one other thing. This is what I was going to show you, how desperate this power grab is. This is the salvage program, and it says here that, this is fire sign scenario, is that of an invading extraterrestrial force of nearly incomprehensible scale. They really want people to not go to the voting polls, right? This is the fake alien invasion. And here's the technology, and then here's the little UFO spaceship there, layer where they spray the chemtrails, right? And here it would be, this is it. An extraterrestrial force of nearly incomprehensible scale, massive floating cities descending, God-sized walkers among the clouds with terrifying weapons. And you can't even imagine that this is real. This is happening in politics. This is real, but this is the reality of this changeover to 555 on the planet, according to some sources. Because what you had 666 running the planet, and now 555, which is just a code for this change over to giving the people the power, putting the power back in the people's hands, more of the power. But these people do not want to give up power at any and they are psychopaths. It's like, you can't reason with them, so you do, one by one, you just have to eliminate them. They will not reason, and they will fight. They will die on the battleground for this.
They'll fight to the death, basically.
Yeah, there's no truth and reconciliation.
Yeah.
Well, you think I got guns? People think I kid about that. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I kill a lot of
We've seen it on the show.
Gal, we're talking about that before too.
Yeah, it's the first time in my life I ever considered the possibility of maybe I need one.
It was in that conversation about men we were having. Okay, never mind. Let's keep going.
Oh, boy.
Gal. Yeah, Drake, you were lucky you missed that one.
Oh, no. I just stuck up for myself.
Well, we can always bring his wife on, too.
Yeah, let us come on. She's right there.
Then you'll have 3 against 1 now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a safe bet. So it's amazing, right? These documents are really showing just the extent, the extreme degree these people are going to go. It's right out of science fiction, but the fact that this is really serious. They're not kidding around. They were serious about this.
What disturbs me, I go to the store and I see so many people masked up, and it actually bothers me because I know that they're hurting themselves and they think that they're protecting themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm waiting to see them with goggles on too.
Yeah, and even this one here,
Oh my God, yeah.
This mask will help you with the spread of all the bullshit we're hearing.
I was wondering when that was going to come out,
Exactly. Yeah. Oh no, it's hear no evil, see no evil,
Yes.
speak no evil, right?
Yeah.
But look,
Well,
Drake,
here's
let's
the
talk about what was in those envelopes, Drake, during the Bush funeral. Do you know? Can you talk about that at all?
no. I can give you a hint and give you a generalized direction similar to what you got before, but
Okay.
it's real simple. When somebody says, we're going to fry you, you can take that in a bunch of different ways, like the electric chair or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Well, these people are talking about using a grill and literally frying somebody alive. We're going to fry you, and you won't be able to resist because we're going to dope you up before we put you on the griddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now,
What I heard is that
you have to understand. You have to understand what it all really means, and what it all really means is very simple. You have been weighed in the balances and found wanting, and the ideology was to get that message across to these people so that they wouldn't have any doubt. That's basically what that was, and that's only one part of it.
Yeah, I heard that something on the order of "we have it all."
Yeah,
was in there. We
Right.
have it all.
Yeah.
Like you can't hide anything.
But the thing about it is disclosure doesn't seem to do anything anymore. Think about that.
Yeah.
You show somebody, raping a little child, it doesn't do
Isn't that
anything.
disturbing?
Well, what? No, it's not disturbing to me in the least. What you do is you calmly walk up to that person, and you take something like what I got right here, and blow their friggin' brains on the wall. And those are the two alternatives. They can either give up the horse hockey, what they're doing, that is absolutely contrary to any form of freedom known to man, or be eliminated. Now, ET does a lot better job than what we can do in terms of rehabbing somebody. They can actually rewire their brains so that they actually not only make sense, but come out as a decent human being at the end of the treatment. We don't have that capacity, not near.
Well, one of the things
Right.
I find disturbing is the number of children that go missing every year, and it doesn't seem like people. It's like it goes in one ear and out the other. It's like they don't believe it or something. I find that very upsetting.
Well,
maybe we need to make some of those adults disappear.
Well,
they got me. Oh my God!
It's serious cognitive dissonance. I guess I don't know what.
I have a video that's been circulating. It's very short. It's very, very, very hard for me it's hard for me as a mother to watch this. But I think we have to confront what you're saying and talking about what you're talking about, Drake, about them eating the children and what you're talking about, Gail. So let me just, it's an emotional thing. It's just, let me screen share this. It's just a minute long, I think. And it's a little tough though. I'll be honest with you. It's a little tough for me to watch it. But we have to confront this or we can never change it. So let's take a listen here.
You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true. I will rescue you.
So that's it. That's pretty compelling, and I have to tell you, it's very hard to watch that. But
Yes, it is.
the president, from what we
I've seen
know,
those.
the President Trump, as you know, with his executive orders, is doing everything he can to stop the human trafficking. And of course, this is even interplanetary, from what I understand, isn't it?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
Drake?
Yes, it was. It's not nearly so much now because we've eliminated a lot of those dinks. And the planet, our planet Earth, is quarantined, meaning that nothing in, nothing out without absolute permission. And consequently, anybody takes off from planet surface will be blown away.
They were going to
they
try to
can't get away
escape,
now.
weren't they?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we had.
That's a good thing.
I'm sorry, never mind. I was going to make a comment. But this is
Go
really
ahead.
no. I know better. Sorry, I know better.
Oh.
No, this Sagittarius has learned how to control her mouth. Okay, so the hard way. So yeah, my Libra rising knows better. It just isn't going to go there. So this is really why. This is how important President Trump is, and people just don't realize it. They really don't get what President Trump is doing. Can you tell us what one of the reasons I played that video was to explain what was going on with these underground tunnels, these bases where, like, even China Lake, what's going, can you give us an update on what's going on? Were there children rescued? What was going on there, really? And did these ships in some way play a role in that? These Mercy and Comfort ships, were they involved in that? Can you give us any information on that? Yeah.
Yeah, there was about, so far, the rescue effort has liberated or set free some 3 million kids. These are the ones that lived through it. About a little lesser number, about 2.5 million didn't live through it. The tunnels, bases, deep underground bases, and all that happy stuff that were not under our direct control have either come under our direct control or been eliminated along with all personnel, whether it's Americans or humans or what, doesn't make any difference. You don't want to come out? No. Okay, see ya. Light the fuse and walk away. It's continuing. You'll see a blurb every once in a while about they rescued all these kids. And the problem with partial problem with it is that everybody wants to know a location. They want to know about this, that, or the other thing. The problem is we cannot give details. If we do, screws the whole operation up to an extent where it's no longer functional, and you got to start over. That's where this has gone or gotten involved with. Then you have the turncoats and internal spies and all this other happy stuff going on. You've got the huge pedophile network, and you can't put it on all that on just an island. Believe me, Hollywood's loaded, and other places. So, what do you do about that? Well, you go through and eliminate as many as you can one by one. That's what's in process now, and it's a pretty good-sized effort. So,
good.
Isn't it a joint effort throughout the world, really?
Yeah. Me and some of my ET friends have contacts like Putin, like Xi, and you name it, all over the place. They don't want to be known. They don't want us to advertise for them that they are part parcel and involved all the way up to their waist in this stuff. They don't want that sort of a video out. And the thing is, we got video. We can show. And so they decide they would rather cooperate and please don't show that video. That don't mean we give up the video. We still got it. So eventually we'll get the comprehensive list. This is after the transition. That is what I would suggest. We'll get the comprehensive list to ET, and ET can take care of all of the obvious ones immediately. And what that'll do is that'll stop about 90% of it. And the rest of them we can get pretty easy, I think. Okay?
Are we going to be able to transition with as many people asleep still as there are?
Yeah, it's not a problem because the transition is sort of an awakening, like from a dream or the end of a daydream or something of this nature. And it's instant. Flip a switch, light comes on that sort of instant. And it doesn't matter whether these people are aware or awake or not. What matters is that they are going to participate. They're going to 4D, whether they like the idea or not, makes no difference. These people have then an option to go to 3D planets if they want to continue to suffer. Well, that's up to them. But the ideology of it all is that a lot of the things that we don't like or think are nasty changes right at the point of transition. All the aches and pains and whatnot that we feel from being old or being stupid enough as kids to fall off the roof or whatever, all that leftovers, that goes. Then we have a myriad of classes to teach us how to act and what to do, and special powers that you now have that you didn't in 3D and all that. So it's comprehensive and it's huge.
Is this a result of the solar flash you're talking about?
No.
Okay, so when's the moment of this transition? I guess that's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah. We can't give a date.
When we get to a certain point, ET will flip the switch. I know the guys that are going to flip the switch, and they're anxious. They wanted to do it well, basically last year. Oh man, come on, give me a break. I want to do it last year. We need to get her done. You know, all that.
So what are they waiting for? There has to be some disclosure. There has to be the stuff come to light.
There's a whole bunch of things that go into it. It's not as simplistic as that.
Okay.
And as those things develop and as things begin to come about where we can do something comprehensive in terms of inclusion in all of it, then we have a position or condition where it's okay to go ahead with the transition, meaning that the seriousness of the afflictions that people have has been mitigated to a point, and I'm talking about, riots, all of sociology, every bit of it. It's been mitigated to a point where it'll do. That's when the transition, that's when they flip the switch.
We have a question from the. All right, Gail, you go. But there's a question from a viewer in the live stream. We'll get to after your question.
Okay, I just wanted to ask if the ETs are going to be using some type of wave technology that would create peace or harmony, like a wave of 432 or 528, because that would change everybody, wouldn't it?
Not exactly, but the waveform that they're talking about is a peace waveform.
It was in that category, I would think.
Yeah, and they can hit the whole planet with it, and all of a sudden people no longer will have the desire to go shoot somebody or whatever they're doing. So, they call it a peace wave.
Interesting.
And there's several different kinds.
Okay, there's a question in the live chat. This is: will transition involve a life review, like you hear about happening after death or during an NDE? Interesting question. No. Ain't nobody in there. Okay, it says confess all your sins. What a crock of horse hockey! I can't remember when I was a little kid and put that slimy frog down somebody's back.
or in their shorts. I
Yeah,
don't remember that. You know,
Yeah,
Part of the
exactly.
it's
programming.
not possible. You got to have a better remedy than that.
Well, related to that question, I would take it a little further and just say, because of the aspect of reincarnation and karmic energy that needs to be balanced, what will happen to that after this, after the transition? Do we still have to deal with the
Let me
balancing of
put it
karmic
this.
energies? Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way: karma doesn't exist. Whether people like that or not is not my problem. Go look it up. As far as energies, your energies will all be adjusted, each and every last bit of all of it, right down from toenail fungus to the hairs on your head. So what you're looking at is going from one form of existence. That's 3D, which is what we're in now. This is the test tube. We're going to the intermediary of 4D, and you got to bear this in mind, 4D, that leads to 5. Now, we're going to be stuck in 5 for a while because it takes, there's a considerable amount of things we need to learn in 5. When we get that squared away, then we go to 6. Now, what's neat about this is it all comes, remember that magic number, 3?
Yeah.
It all comes in 3s. 1 was the beginning, 2 was the intermediary, 3 was the end result we have right now. Okay? We're looking to go to 4. We got to get our stuff together, and I don't mean packing up the car or anything. I'm talking about getting our stuff together internally, inside, to where the hate doesn't exist anymore. That you don't care about what somebody is, you care about what interaction you have with them. Love everybody and make them your friend. Well, you don't have to be on smooching terms with somebody of the same sex to accept them. All you got to do is just, okay, you want to be that way, that's fine. Here's how it is. I got a problem with you maybe flaming in my face. I don't think I could stand it, and I don't want to experience that. On the same note, I'm not going to say you got to be here too low from now on to be around me. That's my personal take on how I feel, not yours. And people got to understand that their rights end where the other person's nose begins. When you get to that point, you got it. Okay.
People have mentioned also Nibiru. Nancy Leader on Zeta Talk has a website there that talks about Nibiru, and it's we're trying to just get everybody on the same page here. But what are the real risks of what's going on with this planetary system? Which is why the Vatican built the Lucifer telescope to see, to monitor when it was coming into our system, because it's got a 3,600 year orbit around, through our solar system. And these will it bring cataclysmic changes? And will there, in other words, will we inherit the earth? Are the meek going to inherit the earth? Is there going to be a peaceful transition, or are we going to?
Has to be peaceful. Can't be any other thing, or you can't transition.
Okay.
There are some rules, and you can forget about cataclysms. Myself and others, in terms of ETs, won't allow it. In other words, you're going to start a nuclear war, check your warheads. You're going to find out that some of them have been turned upside down. Some of them are full of chocolate pudding or popcorn or something. Then ET can transmute matter. We can't do that. So, no, we're not. The solar system isn't going to change a whole lot. We still have the same follow along that David Wilcock described. In a couple of his videos and books and whatnot. So you're not going to you can't totally get rid of, and I quote this loosely, the wobble that creates our supposedly creates our seasons. The seasons have an interesting facet, and that is that it goes to how much heat, sun, and all that you get from our star. The thing is that we have a funny orbit. At a certain point or another, we get just a little bit too close and get slung way out in the great beyond and don't have as much heat and whatnot to keep us going. That is going to be adjusted, let's say, to a point where We don't have that big sling, and you're not going to have ice ages and that sort of thing anymore. What we're going to be able to look forward or towards or to is simply it's like the human frequency. When it settles down, everything will be fine. Well, they're in the process of settling it down. Now, I don't know how many of our illustrious scientists think it's cool. They go, ew, climate warming, climate change, and jump up and down and holler. Well, okay, dude, which one of you guys knows how to move our planet around? Oops. It ends the discussion. They get, I've heard some expletive deletables I hadn't heard since Grandpa hit his thumb with the hammer.
Well, back on the topic of the meek inheriting the earth, I think we're, one of the reasons I brought it up was that there was a question in the live chat regarding the RV, and that would be related to the meek inheriting the earth. So what a brilliant idea that was, to put these seemingly worthless bonds on the planet, and nobody collected except collectors. But can you give us some inside information about, or is there anything more you can tell us about that right now?
GCR is the RV.
Right.
Revaluation is the global currency reset. That's in process. And the central banks are really having some trouble with it for in a whole bunch of different ways, okay? What you have to understand is that we're going to eventually be a cashless society. Has to go that way. We're going to eventually not have to worry about valuations of things that we consider important, such as a house, car, clothes, whatever. A replicator, which is what everybody's going to get one, takes care of a whole bunch of that, okay? Then you have the advanced technologies that we will learn about in 4D. That's after the transition. Learn about in 4D. Now, as far as the meek inheriting the earth, basically what you're talking about is non-aggressiveness, not as such meekness.
Right.
You can be as aggressive as you want with a good axe when you're chopping down a tree. Doesn't mean anything. So you have to understand that difference, and there is a big difference in it. Okay.
Well, people are still waiting for the exchange. It's going to be happening after the election, you think?
I don't know. I'm not going to predict stuff. You're not getting me into.
That just gets you in trouble.
Okay. No, well, the people are asking. Yeah.
I know they are constantly. Will that happen after the transition, Drake, or before the RV?
What's that?
The RV the
exchange.
No, the GCR is supposed to happen before the transition, so that we can get used to the idea of a cashless society. Okay, supposed to.
Is that why there's a chain shortage?
Well, ET was supposed to pick me up 6 months ago and give me a rehab, and put myself back together so that my whatevers didn't feel like they was falling off or dragging on the floor or something. I ain't been here yet.
Behind schedule.
So I'm still waiting.
Okay. Hold on. 1 second. There was a lot of questions in there. Okay. When you say cashless society, you're not talking about chip implants, I hope.
No.
Okay.
Nobody's sovereignty will be violated in any way, shape, or form by ET's parameters of existence. The manner of governance and all that will be outside the human body and parameters.
Yeah. How about, are we going to be able to, there's these, what are they called? Med beds? What do you know about that? And will we be when will we have access to that kind of technology?
We've had that since the 1950s, and nobody's done nothing with it. Okay, that's first. Secondly, it's not going to be a med bed, so to speak. It's going to be a small enclosure that you sit in, if you can sit. If you can't sit, they got one that are made for people to lay down in.
Okay.
And basically, it goes through you and readjusts you totally and completely, the way you're supposed to be, the way you're originally designed, the way you were supposed to be born, all that, everything you can think of. So, your big toe that's been hurting since 1921 will quit, among other things. Any kind of disease known to man is taken care of by these medical applications. Now, they have advanced techniques where if somebody's missing a leg or an arm or whatever, it can be regrown. So you can look forward to it being restored on a very human basis. I like it a lot, okay?
Would that be before or after the transition? That's another question that I always get.
We're supposed to start getting all these goody stuffs before we transition. And from what I'm seeing, they best hurry up.
Yeah.
We need to have somebody. Well, we need to have ET plug in those Marxist radicals that are rioting and whatnot. Plug your whatever's into a wall socket or whatever you do, and we'll get the changes we're looking for.
Well, if they just put that wave through, that might take care of that problem.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch,
That way you don't have to hurt anybody.
And you don't want irresponsible use of it because they weaponize everything. So, but it can't. They won't do that in 4D. I understand. So, okay. So this kind of technology, well, there's just a lot of things, a lot of places I can go, and I just want to, keep it on topic because we're running down to we're approaching our 2-hour mark. So I mean, we're gonna have to do this again. Would you guys come back to the Goldfish Report and join me? We can continue this another time.
Sure.
Continue our discussion because the viewers are loving it. There's lots of questions and comments. They really do like this. And not only that, we're uniting. We're different channels. We all three have different channels. The two of you do interviews together, and I just like the fact that we have to unite. We have to stay together in this. Isn't this why we just, Gail? This is
exactly.
Well, they can ask me anything.
Light workers need to unite.
Well, they can ask me anything. There's only one thing that's off limits, and that's my underwear.
Okay. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Does Drake know the transition as the event that Cobra talks about?
The event is both prelude, the transition itself, and the aftermath. It's like a seismic wave. Builds up and then goes back down and settles down. Well, it's going to settle down it'll go up to 5.5D, and then it'll come back down to 4, higher into 4, and settle out. Okay.
So what are the symptoms? What can we expect? I mean, is it a gradual event, or is this boom going to happen like that?
It's a boom. And we're getting people that are dizzy and squirrely and got to stand on their head and all kind of happy stuff right now. I don't know how far it'll all go. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, we won't have to be plucking our neighbors out of trees or anything. They'd be up there going, ooh, 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 or something,
Yeah, well, we don't want, what happened in the Philadelphia experiment to be repeated. That's for sure.
That is forbidden. We're not allowed to do that sort of thing any longer. We don't have to. See, you mentioned the Deep Space Project. Well, we've had one since the late 60s, early 70s. We already been in deep space. We finally got permission from people and whatnot, and we went out. So President Trump is, let's say, putting a little bit of a covering or cover-up on something that's already there. And it'll come out. Not to worry. It's not nasty yet either.
Okay, very good. And there's positive. Obviously, there's positive ETs working with the president. Can you confirm?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Are there Pleiadians that are positive that are also involved in this process?
Yes.
Oh my God! I just saw a video today of Trump's Air Force One being escorted by a Pleiadian, obviously, spaceship.
Right, his wingman.
Yeah, about 10, 12 foot tall.
Well, the spaceship. No, actually, on the morning of the inauguration, and when he left New York, he was there was a UFO wingman there, and I think they're there. They wanted to be.
You'd be amazed. You really would. If somebody wants to meet some ETs, let me know. We'll figure out. We'll see what we can figure out. But I have a guard contingency around my property of anywhere from 3 to 7 of them, give or take, and they are different from anything you've seen.
Well, I think the Goldfish Report should do the first interview.
Well, it'd be nice if I had some protection. I mean, I'm the one that does the shows for you, Drake.
There you go.
Gail, you've got some protection you're not aware of yet.
That's what people have told me, so that's good. Okay.
Oh, I know I've got protection, or I wouldn't be here right now. Because God knows through death threats and these microwave attacks and everything else I've suffered.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have to realize that some people, look, you and I have a lot better things we could be doing on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning. But the three of us truly understand and know what's at stake here, and that's why we're coming together to
Yes.
help inform people, so that the more you're informed, you have to take some personal responsibility for the fact that we're in America and this is of the people, by the people, we the people here. So you have to realize it's everybody's duty in America to be part of this.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Yep.
So in
Exactly.
closing, let's have some closing. Anything else you want to talk
I
about that we
wanna
didn't
ask
talk
you-
about yet?
I want to ask you one thing, and that has to deal with Gail. I'd like to see you get her involved more in the show than asking me all the questions.
Well, I'm happy to have you both come back. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, she needs to be more involved. I think she's got a lot to offer, personally.
That's up to Gail. That's up to Gail. She's welcome on the Goldfish Report whenever she wants.
Oh.
Thank you. I'm more than happy to answer whatever I'm capable of answering, and whatever I don't know, I'll pass it on to you, Drake. Or you,
there we
Louisa.
go.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Well,
Nobody knows everything, do they?
no. After covering as much as I do,
Right.
I try to keep things really short on the second time around, okay?
Yeah, after I have conversations with Drake, my head's spinning. I'm like, yeah,
Hey, you have.
chit chat. I know. I call him up.
I have a little saying, Louisa, that I would like to end my part with, because I
Sure.
kind of like it. It's called enlightenment is when the wave realizes it's the ocean.
Oh, like that a lot. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Drake,
Cowabunga, surf's up, let's go, get your board.
Drake, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you feel is important? Any message that you think that we need to communicate that we haven't covered yet?
Not me.
Okay. What would you suggest? What would you recommend people to do starting today? You want people to prepare, protect themselves, and what else?
If they want to advance, I wrote a whole series of books, and Gail's got them on her website, and they can get them off that for free.
I'll have to send that
And
to you, Louisa.
they are intense. Once you start reading them, you're going to find out that it ain't just reading material. This is
No.
heavy, deep study.
Yeah, I downloaded them. I mean, Drake did give me I think you did give me I don't know if it was Gail's website, but wherever you
Yes.
got them, I did download them, and I'm
Okay.
It is mine.
fixing to go through them. They're
Garrett Ward.
actually just did that. Yeah. Okay.
Garrett
So
Ward did that.
okay, good. Gail, is there anything else, any other message or anything that you'd like to leave our viewers with today? Because we could sit here and talk all day, but you know what? This let me tell you, this 2 hours flew. In my opinion, it flew, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I guess the only other thing that I recently saw, and I'll just mention it because I haven't been able to vet it, so to speak, but they said that debt forgiveness is going to be a part of the next stimulus. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
That Jubilee.
But yeah, because there are some countries that it's already started in, from what I understand.
Mhm. Yep.
That'll be a big relief for everybody.
Well, let me ask you this, Drake, just in closing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you know it's going to be a doozy.
Yeah.
Okay. So the elder Agarthans who have been basically the stewards of the planet, who are going to be the new stewards of the planet, or will they remain the same?
The same ones. They're let's see here. How can I express this? They're immortal. And so consequently they have not only the knowledge prior, but they also have a decent direction to go. They've been trying to foment peace, cool, calm, and collectedness since I've known of them. So
Okay.
I would suggest they'll probably continue.
Would that be the council, Drake? A council of 5 or
No, these
council
are
of
the
9, or are these totally different?
These are the ancient elders and the originals that produced little minor things that we refer to regularly, like God Almighty, things like that. That's the sort of thing they produce or make, and they're kind of in the background. And when somebody needs advice or counsel or needs things done that can't be done according to what is available in a way of power to, say, a creator, they step in and assist, pretty much.
Okay. Gail, did you want to give us your email address? Because people are asking about where to get the books.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well,
I mean, they could download them from your...
I will put it on Cosmic Voice. How's that? Because I already got like 45,000 emails in my email, and
is that all?
and that's just one of them. So, and
well, I'll post it. I'll put it
in
the description section of the video.
Okay, I'll get it to you. I'll have to get back to you because I don't have it handy.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we could post it. Look, we could post it on Twitter. We could put it on the blog. We could put it on Facebook, wherever. There's a community section, too, on YouTube where I sometimes post announcements or stuff like that. So we could post it there. Because people definitely are going to want to know. They're going to want to get a hold of these books. So
okay.
I think it's going to be good. Yeah,
I'll help facilitate that. And like I said, I'm on a new to me computer, and I'm still learning because it's going from a PC to an iMac, and they're totally different. And I'm going, oh my God, where's this or where is that? So.
Yeah. No, it's very difficult. I found that a very difficult transition. But, you'll get through it eventually. And, if you have any questions, call me up because I know where I've been in your shoes. So thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure, Gail. It's really wonderful meeting you and having this chance to, sit down and have this conversation and this talk with you. And Drake, it's such a pleasure. Thank you both so much for joining the Goldfish Report and sharing your Sunday with us and all your insight, Drake. We do appreciate it. People are trying to understand the world that we're living in and what we need to do and to start taking, responsibility and taking, preparing ourselves for what's to come. So thank you so much, Drake. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Louisa, and thanks for having me as well.
So to all of our viewers, I just want to remind you to give this video a thumbs up. It does help circulate it, and we're heavily shadow banned and censored. So if you want to share this video, please distribute this and post it on your pages wherever you can. It's the only way we're really going to get the information out. Also, if you want to support Gail, Drake, and Goldfish Report, you can do that on the respective pages. I think you can find out on Cosmic Voice or Gail of Gaia. Anyway, we can. You can do that. If someone in this live chat says, don't forget to, mention, donating to support the channel and everything. And I always forget because I never monetized the channel. And when I did monetize the channel, then they started giving me strikes and deleting and removing videos. And then they said, well, you can't monetize it anymore. So
they won't even let me start to monetize mine.
Yeah, you have to have a certain number of
I did. There were plenty. It was all because of Convid,
Convid, yeah. Yeah, you can imagine the things that I've said. Well, no wonder it's shadow banned. But, we have to get it out. I mean, we have to have people like yourself on and talk about the reality of what's going on because this is a planet beset with change. We are going through major changes. And I just suppose that the sleepwalkers who want to remain asleep will just remain asleep. And I don't know where they're going to go or what's going to happen to them. What do you think, Jake?
I think when the alarm clock goes off, they're going to have a startled response.
They're going to need a diaper. They'll need a diaper. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Thanks to all the viewers, watching, and all the viewers who joined us in the live chat. Thank you so much for all of your questions and comments and your great conversation over there. We do appreciate you. And we will be back. We will have Drake and Gail come back, and we'll have more on these various topics. It'll be a Q&A, and you guys can all ask your questions and find out where we are and what's going on and where we're headed. So thank you so much for joining us, and this concludes this edition of the Goldfish Report.